Hey everyone, it's Lucas from the Pine Pals Podcast. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And please feel free to join the Facebook group. We also have set up a Patreon if you feel like supporting the show in another way. Again, it is always appreciated but never expected. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Pine Pals Podcast. It is I, Lucas.
My name's Nate.
And today, Nate, do you actually want to introduce this episode since these are your picks?
My picks? I guess they're kind of my picks. They were suggested by you, but I did pick them out. So the wife and I made a trip up to Michigan to do some camping, and on our way to our next part, which was Chicago, we made a stop in Wisconsin to do some whitewater rafting. And
You did whitewater rafting in
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, well, now you know.
You don't tell me shit.
I didn't tell you. That's how I damaged my...
I didn't know you got injured.
Oh, yeah. No, I smacked my
Well, it's a
hand
good thing we
against
don't
the
offer
rock.
healthcare on the podcast.
That's true. It was
You'd be driving
unfortunate.
cream
I
and
had
stuff
to
left
just
and
let
right.
it go. So I have a disfigured pinkies because we don't have healthcare here. But these were suggested by, the spotted cow was suggested by you. And then I sought out these other ones when I was there. I saw these. I wanted to try. I held off. I wanted to try these when we went to a restaurant there, but they actually were out of the spotted cow.
You could have. I've had spotted cow before.
Well, good to know now. Anyway, the more you know. They were out of it, the place we stopped, so it tells me it's somewhat popular.
To all of the listeners out there, if you are ever driving through a corner of Wisconsin, I highly recommend trying to get some of this beer from New Glarus.
It's the biggest reason because it doesn't leave the state.
It doesn't leave the state. And
The box does say only in Wisconsin.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know personally, and just like beer trading groups and stuff like that spotted cow is sought after. But when I worked at the beverage center, a customer went to Wisconsin. They brought back a 6-pack for us to split amongst ourselves.
Oh, nice.
So,
also, this is illegal since we took it out of Wisconsin now.
No,
we're gonna get pulled over by the
beer
police.
police. That joke never got old when you said that 15 different times.
Telling you, man.
But,
if you tell me it doesn't leave the state,
where
it doesn't leave the state.
Where did you pick this up at? Because you didn't stop at a craft beer store, did you?
Yeah, I stopped at it was kind of very similar to the place you worked at BG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe not as much. It's kind of like a little bit less. I imagine yours being in between the Perfect Pour and this place. So just a little bit. Just a little bit. It wasn't a gas station. I'll say that.
Okay. See, the guy who got it for us, he said he stopped at a gas station on his way home.
Oh, gotcha. This place sold
like
singles, so that's the only reason that's the only reason I was able to get these all in singles.
Gotcha. I thought you got a 6-pack of this because you had the 6-pack holder.
Oh, yeah, no, I was lucky. I was looking for this because they had a bunch of them in like a little pile
Just
of
like
stuff.
to build your own with. It's
like, oh shoot, I gotta find one for New Glarus. It's perfect. Last one. But yeah, there was plenty of other ones. I don't know if I'm guessing the red cap ones here, there's special
I don't know.
beers. I don't know.
I don't know.
The rest of them had green. There was a bunch of other ones that I was gonna get, but I figured
that could just
7
be
beers on a podcast.
Oh,
So.
we could. I'm here for it. We could
Probably
do 12
could.
beers on a podcast. I'm only here for it.
We did that for the the 421.
Yes.
So I guess it's possible. Anything's possible. We didn't do that on a podcast, so we did that afterwards.
God, that was a fun day.
But yeah, so I say we just kind of dive in for it.
Okay.
We're gonna start over here with the
here. And we had to dive into my collection of bottle openers for this. And I am using which one are you using?
I'm using Revolution.
I'm using the one I got for the Perfect Pour.
One place I did stop at. Chicago, right?
Yep, Chicago. You should have.
But I didn't.
You ready?
Yep.
Let's get this right by the mic. Get some ASMR going. That
Beautiful.
was a crisp one.
That was
a
beautiful.
good one. I was
Kind of
like,
miss out on that when you do the can because you hear the instead of the you miss out on it.
all right. So the first one we're doing, I probably should have opened it after I read what it was. From New Glarus. All of these beers are from New Glarus. We're doing the Dancing Man Wheat. On the side here it says, if you dream of wheat, this brew will get your toes tapping. Since 1995, we have brewed Bavarian-style wheat beers exclusively for the same great state that grows and malts our own Wisconsin wheat. In a world full of posers, this is a true Hefeweizen, naturally 100% bottle fermented and hazy. Expect this beer to cascade effervescent into your glass. The rich, spicy clove and cinnamon notes will greet your nose, while sweet fruit and wheat kiss your lips. Lick the foam from your mouth and admit sometimes you just gotta get up and dance.
Wait, so
It's a Hefeweizen.
bottle fermented, so that means they don't ferment it in the big thing in the brewery? Is that, I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe that they do primary fermentation, then secondary fermentation happens in the bottle.
Oh, okay.
I don't work it.
I didn't know if there was something behind like the bottle being.
But with this
Important
being a
to the process.
Hefeweizen,
So explain Hefeweizen. Have we had a Hefeweizen on?
I don't think we've had a Hefeweizen on the show.
I guess
Oh,
it's German,
God.
right?
Yes, it is German. It's German wheat beer. And has notes of... Oh, God. So, for everybody out
Floral?
there, no.
No.
That should not smell floral to you.
What does that smell?
Think banana.
Yes, that's it.
That's what it is.
That's it.
So, for everybody listening out there, I have a wide range of tastes when it comes to beer. But there are two styles that I tend not to go for. One of them being Hefeweizen, and then the other one being the Belgian beers.
What about farm ales?
I don't drink farm ale. Like, it's harder to come across a farm ale than it is a Hefeweizen.
Fair.
The main reason for that is I don't like banana. And I don't like that clove flavor.
Interesting.
So what are the main characteristics of a Hefeweizen? Banana flavor and the clove.
The clove. I remember distinctly not being a big fan of clove, but I do like bananas, so...
Well, it imitates it. Yeah.
I'm kind of a fan of the smell. I can't remember if I've had a Hefeweizen.
We had a Dunkelweizen from Arlen's.
Hmm.
Pretty sure that's what we had.
Like just the one little
Bubble that's trapped there?
bubble. Alright. Man, now that you said banana, I literally can't get banana.
Exactly.
I cannot get it out of my head.
Yep. That is the key characteristic of a Hefeweizen. Is that like banana flavor.
Is it made with anything banana
No,
related? No,
no,
it just happens to have that smell.
It just happens to have that smell.
Hmm.
We got to think about it. Like, this style has been, for hundreds of years, a style that's been made in Germany. Do you think they had access to bananas hundreds of years ago?
I don't know what the banana shortage was back then.
What part of Germany do you think is an appropriate climate for bananas to grow?
I don't know the trade routes of Germany back then.
Jesus Christ.
Is Germany not tropical? Aren't they on the coast?
If Germany's... Are you shitting me right now?
I know they're not tropical.
Oh,
I'm
God.
just giving you a hard time.
No, but like on the coast, you have to I have to tell you that they're not on the coast.
Do they have a sea right just north of them? They have water access north of Germany, don't they?
I'm gonna pull up a fucking map of Germany.
Okay, yeah. Well, then who's north of them? Nobody. Right? I'm pretty sure they have a sea or something there. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep, right there. The North Sea.
Yes, but that's not fucking tropical.
But trading routes. Boom. I don't know, Denmark. I'm sure they have a bunch of bananas.
You think Denmark is growing bananas? You think Denmark is growing bananas?
They're definitely on a higher latitude than us, aren't they?
Look at you trying to use map words because we played that exit game yesterday.
We played a mystery game last night. Yeah, they're higher up than us, so I'm gonna say probably not. Yeah, they're way higher than us. They're in that Canada range. Anyway, let's dive into this before
let's dive into
hype
this
myself about
before I-
bananas.
Beat your face in.
Alright.
It's like when you know you're gonna do something you don't like.
I like that. I like that.
I don't.
Really?
I just don't like.
It's a very bright
Yeah,
feeling. It's very bright.
It's very bright. It's very
It's
light.
exciting.
I'll give
I
it
feel
that.
rejuvenated.
Okay. I just see. I feel bad because I know people out there that like Hefeweizens, and apparently you like Hefeweizens. If you like this beer,
I guess so. This
is an excellent example of a good Hefeweizen. When I said we did this first, I thought it was a classic wheat ale.
It was you just said like it was a good example of a good Hefeweizen, so you think it's good, but you just don't like it.
I just don't like it.
But like compared to the other ones you've had, you think this is higher than the others.
I mean, this is in the same class that I've had.
I feel like
I've had German Hefeweizens, like I'm trying to think of, was it Warsteiner or was it Hofbrau? Didn't we, when we went to because we went to the Hofbrau house in Columbus, did you have the Hefeweizen?
I can't remember. I might have.
But that's a fun place to go. We should go there for
It
Oktoberfest.
was.
I'm sure that's going to be.
I would like to try more of their seasonal. I was surprised that they had more on tap than what.
I'm sure their Oktoberfest is out of this world there. We'll have to do that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, no, it's
this is
pretty. I'm like, I don't know. I guess.
I mean,
just like I feel so like
this is
light.
a clean, crisp, light beer. I can say that. I just don't like Hefeweizen. I don't like that clove flavor. I don't like that banana-ness that it has to it. And I feel bad because, you know, it's a classic style. It's a classic style of beer. You know, people listening to a beer podcast. I don't want people to think that like, oh, Lucas, he only likes
Lucas is the word.
Lucas only likes the fancy fun beers. He only likes the slushy beers and the double.
No, I know that's not true. I know that's not true.
I like pilsners. I like lagers. I like Oktoberfest beer. Like the Marzen lagers are. Oh my god, they're some of my favorite.
It's
beers.
okay not to have like a style of beer that you don't like. It's totally fine.
I know. I just want people out there to know that I do have taste and class, and I'm not just like give me the slushy sour beer.
Lucas hates classical beers.
No, I don't. I just don't like Hefeweizens.
I'm tweeting that later.
But this is definitely fun. I'm glad that we were able to do this episode. I'm glad that you were able to go to Wisconsin because this is a brewery that I've wanted to do on the show.
See, I just what I hate is that I don't really have much to compare this to in terms of other.
Yeah, you don't. This
beers,
probably might be your first Hefeweizen. Like legit Hefeweizen.
I honestly don't want to give it a rating because I enjoy it. I'm just gonna say that, and we don't have to give it a rating because I know you're not a big fan of them. It's my first one. I think it's good. It's really light. Like I feel like just like a bubbly lightness to it. When you say clove, I don't really. I guess I don't understand what a clove taste is. How would you describe a clove taste? Like I've heard you use it before, but I guess I never really questioned what like a clove.
So
I definitely get a different taste in like hops. So
Yeah. This is okay. So
do they still use hops to make it though? 'Cause that's the
I
heart
don't
of
know.
every beer, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
No, it's not the heart of the beer, but
Malts. Damn it, that was so close. It's been too long since I've said that.
it says sweet and provides warmth. It's like a sweet spice.
I could see that. There's a little bit of
Okay.
like it's just a very very bright taste. That's the best way I can describe it. Is bright. You know. Hmm. Yeah, I think we can hold off to rate this just because I haven't had much experience, and I know you're a big fan of the style.
Yeah,
I personally just
like
thought I think
like I'm not gonna give it a P or an R. I wouldn't even give it an O, but I wouldn't give it. Oh,
that's in limbo right now.
Yeah, like I don't want to give it an S or a T, just because if given the option, like if somebody handed me this beer, I would say no, thank you. But out of the Hefeweizens I've had, this is a very good example of a Hefeweizen. I personally do not like Hefeweizens, so I'm not trying to shit on their beer. It's just not a style that I prefer. And that's everybody. This is a problem with Untapped here. This is a problem with Untapped.
We awoke the beast.
Because there are people who go on Untapped, and it's a beer style that they don't like. So what do? They give that a low rating. So that brings down the ratings of everybody else.
I think we all agree that like Untapped should be taken with a grain of salt.
Untapped should be taken with a grain of salt.
It's just like you shouldn't look at the rating. You should look at what people say about it.
Yes,
you should look at the text that they put in there. The rating doesn't mean much. It's what they say about it because it helps you describe it.
There are people who are like, I don't like sour ales. I'm gonna give it a 1 star. No, fuck you, sir. Don't rate the beer.
We have awoken the beast.
And I'll let you know. Breweries do not give a shit about what you say on Untapped.
Well, what was weird is, I learned it when we were at Arlen's, is that I didn't realize breweries had to pay to be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is so crazy.
When I was at
which seems every brewery does it. I'm guessing because they're always.
It's not just breweries. It's like beer stores too have to pay for it. Man. When I worked at a grocery store in the area as their beer and wine lead, I was like, let me try to get on Untapped, and I could advertise what new beers we have on there. It was $500 for the year. But that was only because this company that I worked for had a partnership with Untapped. So $500 a year for the hopes that somebody comes in and checks it? I didn't even have a growler station where I was working, so it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, I think that idea is just wrong.
That you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they have to do, but they could do advertising.
They could do advertising.
They have their own merch store.
There's a bunch of other ways they could get money that isn't... I mean, don't get me wrong, it is smart on their end because they're making great money from it, but at the same time, I don't think...
But if you're offering a free service to the people that, I guess,
there's no
users
option
of
to
Untapped?
Input beer on there for somebody that... you have to be able to find the beer on there to be able to log it, right? You can't put in your own.
I think beer. You can add it, but it doesn't go to the menu unless a certain amount of other people
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a rough. It's a.
I'm
a
sure.
Difficult position for
I'm
breweries.
Sure
I'm sure.
Yeah, especially it's just a small craft brewery that doesn't even do distribution or something like that. I'm talking about the small.
It's gotta be a big decision, which is just. Yeah. Huh.
But a lot of craft beer people use it.
Yeah.
I use it, but I use it as just a place where I can keep track of beers that I've had.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna move past this one.
We're done off my rant of Untapped, and
I personally not having one before. I think it's nice. It's nice light.
This is a good example of a Hefeweizen. If you're able to get your hands on it and you like Hefeweizens, I highly recommend it, but I do not feel right giving it a rating.
Totally fair. All right, so let's go on to our next one here, which, again, is another one.
It's another style
not
that
a fan. But it's more common, right? Belgian wheat beers. Is this Belgian?
It's a Belgian, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
Belgian triple, I think, because it says 555, and I'm like, that's the only thing that it's
Okay.
gotta be.
But more common than the other one, I'm
I'm
guessing.
gonna read it first before I open it.
Smart move.
So the next beer we're doing is 555 from New Glarus. 555 celebrates the divine confluence of 5 unique grains: barley, white wheat, oats, brown rice, and heirloom Midwestern corn. Each lend attributes that collectively create greatness. A strong 9% ABV originated at 20 degrees Plato. This Belgian style triple celebrates its golden blonde heritage by retaining that luscious natural hue. Double decantation and experimental organic hops. Ooh, organic. Elevate spicy notes, balancing fruity caramel tones. The addition of Belgian candy sugar is the traditional bottle fermentation method. Strength and unity reflected here.
2 takeaways. 9%, didn't realize.
Yeah.
And also corn. There's a lot of it.
Belgians try to be tend to be higher ABV, especially the triples.
Well,
let's see here.
Well, Blue Moon is a Belgium, right?
It's a Belgian. It's just Belgian wheat beer.
But it's not that high. That is a lot.
Look at that.
Is that all the corn?
No. Calm down, Mr. Midwest.
Literally, that was the first thing I said. Once they said corn, I was like, man, we got a lot of that.
Look at all those floaties.
There's a lot of floaties. That's normal, though?
I think so. It's the yeast.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do is, because
I saw a lot at the bottom. I saw a lot at the bottom.
I was looking for a date.
Gotcha. I mean, these were fresh in the cooler, and it's only been, what?
Are you saying that they're
2
fresh
weeks?
in the cooler? Or did they tell you it was fresh in the cooler?
Yeah.
Just because it was fresh in the
look
cooler.
for a date here?
No, there's no date. What I
Okay.
did find was F2610711. So that means fucking nothing to me. But what you're going to want to do is, because especially with Belgians, is that they sit for a little bit because they're not a super popular beer. So all the yeast will settle down at the bottom and create this yeast cake type thing. So
Yeast cake, my favorite kind of cake.
it shouldn't be.
So it helps it rise.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want a flat cake, do you?
No, I guess
So you want a
not.
yeast cake.
Okay. So I but again, Belgians, the doubles and the triples, not exactly my cup of tea.
Fair. And if we get to the point where we don't want to rate this one, I understand as well. I don't mind Belgian wheat beers from.
Well, I know you used to drink Blue Moon all the time. You know, I worked with somebody who was training me as a bartender.
That's what I'll make sure it didn't go over.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
I think. Okay, maybe
didn't want you to be sitting there and then realize your beer's just going all over your table here.
I used to work with somebody who was training me as a bartender at a place that I used to work at, even though I had more experience tending bar than they did. And at this place, there was a bunch of domestic and not really any craft options. And I just wanted to bring in one craft option. Like, I don't know, it wouldn't even have been that crazy. Like, it would have been Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale or something like that. Or Goose Island's even IPA. It wouldn't have been, like, some elaborate... Because I just wanted to have that one, like, IPA option to give people.
Yeah.
And I went and talked to my manager, and the guy who trained me at the bar said... I was like, I would like to get a craft option down there. I think my manager was like, oh, we have Blue Moon down there. And Leinenkugels. And I said, Blue Moon's definitely not craft. And Leinenkugels is not craft.
They're both not craft?
Blue Moon's not craft. If they're craft, if they fall in the craft beer category, they're the same. Sam Adams falls in craft beer.
Are you just saying it because the fact they don't They mass produce and they don't have come different like
I would
different variants. Is that why?
no, 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 not the different variants. I don't give a shit about that. But because they are able to produce at such a mass quantity, that doesn't mean that doesn't make you could.
But I couldn't even tell you. Besides, like
Would you
their
call Sam
grapefruit.
Adams craft beer?
No, but they also have
But they're
they
craft
have
beer.
they have a ton of different kinds. Whereas like Blue Moon, I couldn't tell you besides their grapefruit, I couldn't tell you any other beer by them.
Are you
Honestly,
really?
yeah.
They do a coffee blonde. They do
Nope.
a mango
Nope.
wheat.
I don't see those in stores as often.
Okay.
So like to me, for them, it seems like they're just mass producing one type, which is just their typical Blue Moon. Whereas the other ones are kind of like, oh, occasional. Whereas with Sam Adams, they're mass producing everything essentially.
Yeah, but Blue Moon is also.
I don't see them on the same level as Sam Adams. I can understand what you're saying, them not being as like craft beer and being more like mass produced, but I don't think they're on the same level as Sam Adams. I'll be
Why
honest,
was this so light?
I don't even know the brewery. Not gonna lie.
Oh, blind.
Blue Moon.
It's Blue Moon.
Is that the name? I just thought that was the name of the actual. Okay, wow.
Well,
I thought it was just the name of the beer itself, honestly, because you just call it Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. It's a Molson.
Molson Brewery.
It's a Molson brewery. Okay.
Is that Molson as in the domestic
Molson, as
Molson?
in the Canadian beer in Molson. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And the import division of Miller Coors.
I mean, I guess in that case, then yes.
But anyway,
I could see it.
back to the guy who trained me,
Yes.
who was supposed to be this know-all being. I don't try to be a pretentious beer snob, but this guy pissed me off. I was like, let's get something other than a Belgian wheat beer as an option. And he goes, "What are you talking about? Blue Moon's not a wheat beer." I'm like, "And you're training me?
I don't know much about beer,
You were
but
training
I know
me?
that's false.
It says it on the goddamn bottle. It says it on the tap handle. It's a Blue Moon Belgian wheat beer."
Yikes.
I at that point I'm like,
Did you actually verbally say that to him? Like,
I told him that
it is.
yeah, I'm like, read the bottle. It says
And what
it.
was
He goes,
his response?
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know. Oh,
you didn't know.
you're training me? You're the head bartender?
One of the most popular beers. And you
He
don't know
also
it's
told
a
me beer
wheat
doesn't get head. You do not leave a head on beer. And I was like, you are a buffoon. What is this madhouse that I am working in?
Yikes. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dive into this. Now, is this also made with the same kind of stuff? Because I still get the kind of banana.
You still get the
and
you're gonna get
flavor.
the banana
Okay.
and the spice and apparently the fruitiness that gives off caramel tones and blah 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 Belgian beer stuff.
Jeez. All right, let's go for it. Mm.
Again, I have that reaction because I don't like Belgian beers.
If I were to look at the two, I think I'd enjoy the other one more in terms of the aspect of like the
This one's a little bit heavier than the other one.
yeah.
Let's say the ABV.
This is also a 9%, so understandable as well.
Yeah, I don't think this has the ABV on it.
Oh, really? Does it mix in with the general warning?
That's what I looked at, but it's not. I think for some states you're not required to put it on.
Huh.
Just a little dangerous, don't you think?
I mean, that's noticeable. I mean, even like at places where they had them on stuff on tap, they didn't have any of the ABVs, which I normally see at places here in Ohio. So
Well, I'll pull up on Untapped and see what the brewery put in for the first one.
Ooh.
7.2.
boy,
Oh boy.
honestly, would not have known that. It did not taste like that high. Wow. Yeah, it's it's okay. I think it's another one I just won't really rate.
This is definitely one that I don't feel right rating as well, just because, again, I'm not a fan of the Belgian style. I just those flavors just don't mix well with me. And there was one time that I accidentally chugged a Belgian and it came right the bag
Gosh.
up. It was, yeah,
Sounds awful.
yeah. Mistakes were made.
I mean, part of the biggest reason I might not be the biggest fan is because I'm so used to having just IPAs, stouts, pilsners, those kind of things. So I think these are something that's just a little bit not foreign, but not common for me. If I were to compare the two, I still definitely like the Dancing Man.
Yeah,
That
out of the two, I prefer the Dancing Man. But
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't have bought these beers for myself. Not saying that Nate, you did a bad job picking
I got
these
them
beers.
because I just
No,
wanted to go.
no,
for
no,
it,
no. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on
Yeah.
you for that. These are just styles that I tend not to go for.
I remember in my mind I was thinking, I know Lucas doesn't like Belgians, so don't get it. But for some reason I must have still gotten it, which is crazy because I know in my mind I was like, I know Lucas doesn't like Belgians. Don't get the Belgian.
It's fine. It's
Still got
fine.
the Belgian.
It's fine, man. It's totally fine.
That being said, I'm excited for the other two.
Yeah, I'm excited for the other two.
The other two. I knew these ones would be kind of a shot in the dark.
Which ones?
The other two
two.
originally, yeah. Because they were kind of new to me, especially the first one, new to me. I mean, I've had the wheat ones before, but
they're very. Again, I'll say this: if you enjoy the Hefeweizen, I highly recommend the Dancing Wheat. If you enjoy Belgians, this might be a good Belgian. I'm not the person to ask.
honestly, the Dancing Man, I could probably get another one just fine, no problem. I actually really enjoyed it. But yeah, not just a little too strong for me for that one. So I don't want to give it a rating since you're also not giving it a rating. I think we'll just stick to the side, but we'll definitely give the next two a rating for sure.
Are you ready to go on to the next one?
Let's move on. So this is the most popular one, I'm guessing.
The man of the hour, the spotted cow.
I guess is their staple, I would say.
Yeah, this is
The Holy Grail of
not
Glarus.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But kind of like how at my bachelor party I got the bottles of Pliny for us.
Oh, okay.
This is another beer kind of similar to that.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, Pliny doesn't make its way out here. Good crisp.
It's a beautiful.
Let's see, heads or tails?
Sound.
Heads or tails?
Heads. That.
I
That was
win.
a.
I win.
I've been cheated.
Yeah.
So what kind of beer is this? I actually don't.
I probably should have read it before opening again. Every drop of Wisconsin's original farmhouse ale is artisan brewed and bottled by the hardworking employee owners of New Glarus Brewing Company, right here in Little New Glarus, Wisconsin. Spotted Cow adheres to the Reinheitsgebot purity law, using only 4 hand-selected all-natural ingredients: yeast, hop, water, and malted barley. We allow yeast to remain in the bottle to enhance the fullness of flavors, so it is naturally cloudy. Expect this ale to be fun, fruity, and satisfying. You know, you're in Wisconsin, and when you see the Spotted Cow, only in Wisconsin.
Two things. First off, excellent job pronouncing whatever that word was.
Yeah.
Also, farmhouse ale.
I don't think it's a farmhouse. It's not a farmhouse ale.
That's what they just labeled it as.
There you go.
If that's the case, then there's a farmhouse ale you like. I think you should look it up real quick.
Okay.
Because I'm very curious. Because I know how much you don't like farmhouse ales. So.
I had it once before, and I thought it was kind of more on the lines of a pale ale. So. No, it says farmhouse ale.
Interesting. Interesting development.
Well, I gave it a 3.5.
Pint Pals Podcast. Interesting development. It doesn't smell like a pale ale, though.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, it doesn't smell like
No.
a pale ale.
does not smell like a pale ale. Maybe I just remembered it wrong.
That was when Lucas was still young and naive.
No, it was like 2 years ago, man. 3 years ago. 3 years ago, probably.
I feel like 3 years ago is still kind of a young Lucas in the craft beer.
I'm 26 now, so
That
I
was
would've
also Crown Apple Lucas at the time.
No, it wasn't.
Are you sure? 3 years ago?
No, it was 4 years ago. It was Crown Apple Lucas.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know any better, and I drank a whole bottle of it, and then I stood up. I drank the whole bottle sitting down, and I felt perfectly fine. And then second I stood up, I was like, I am not gonna have a good day tomorrow.
That's funny. All right, yeah, let's dive into this. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's I think supposed to be a farmhouse ale. Yeah, like they said.
Yeah,
But it doesn't taste like the other farmhouse ales that we had.
yeah.
It's very good. I'm glad that we were able to get this.
That was really good.
So I guess you're right. It is a farmhouse. It said 4.8, so
4.8. Okay.
very easy drinking.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, there was a lot of this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is their craft beer option.
Clean, crisp.
I wish it was a little bit colder, but it has been sitting out for a little bit.
That's true.
Because
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a fun beer. I'm glad I have another bottle of it that you generously got for me. So.
Mm-hmm. I like that. It's just
different.
super clear, crisp. I'm sure it'd be crispier if it were colder, but just overall really amazing taste afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves my taste buds. Is it on the kind of on the same level of the? I don't want to say it, but like the Scrimshaw makes you think of like just a nice, like it's not gonna ruin anything on my palate. It's gonna go well with a nice meal.
I'd pair this with cheese.
Is that because it's a Wisconsin beer?
I didn't even think about that. But no, but no, this is.
We ended up bringing back some Wisconsin cheese.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, for Father's Day, because we were gone for Father's Day, so we brought some back for the in-laws and my dad.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they loved it.
What type of cheese was it? Kraft singles.
Well, for my dad, we got him a Swiss, and then two other ones, but honestly, I can't remember right now. A Swiss and a cheddar.
I mean, this kind of just has like the funky notes that you would get from some cheeses and stuff like that.
I mean, I definitely agree. I'm not a big cheese person. I don't really.
I can't believe I forgot this was a farmhouse ale.
That's impressive.
I only had it once, so.
That's why when you read that, I was like, my eyes got really wide. I'm sure going back at it, and you'll realize my eyes were very wide.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Lucas, are you sure you've had this before?
Yeah. No. I totally get why you question that. I don't know why in my head I just thought it was a pale ale. I don't know why I remembered it. I again only had it once, and it was one bottle split between 4 people.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, there's a chance that I like this farmhouse ale.
So there might be others out there you just might like. See?
Okay. I will try more farmhouse ales, Nate.
I got some in my fridge. Do you want those?
No.
Okay.
It's the same ones we tried before.
Fair enough.
This is good. I enjoy this a lot.
Yes, this is just incredibly smooth. I actually wish I had more now. This would be.
Well, take the other bottle back. I'm fine.
No,
dude, I got more than enough beer. You know that.
I know you do. I know you do.
I still have that second bottle of Pliny.
Oh, that's good.
You want to give this one a rating?
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and. I want to give it a T because it's a farmhouse ale. And I know I didn't like the other one last time, but I'm gonna go with a high S for this.
I'm also gonna give this one a high S. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's, again, I would definitely pair this with like a charcuterie board. With
If I were, I mean, I guess maybe the meat side of it, but like, again, I'm not big on cheese. It's not. I like at most like pepper jack cheese, and that's about it.
This is,
But
it's
I never got to say, but
leave funky, and I like it.
we got my father-in-law Havarti cheese. Is it Havarti? Is it Havarti?
I don't
Havarti cheese with horseradish in it.
know. Oh,
I'm not a fan of horseradish. I don't like horseradish, but
I like so my parents' garden grow horseradish,
ugh.
and my dad would make
Is that
a
in-ground horseradish?
I
Is
think
it like
so.
a beet
I
that
think
you
it's-
pull
yeah.
out of the ground?
yeah. My dad made a horseradish dressing for we used to do raw clams once a year during the summer, and the horseradish sauce with the clams, so good, so good.
You know, I just
I
realized
love raw clams.
when we were in Chicago, we went to a restaurant and they were serving. I think it's mussels, right? Those are like the open.
The black ones.
Yeah, the
or
black
oysters?
ones. Oysters, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that there is a difference between East Coast and West Coast oysters?
Yeah, probably.
I did not know that, and so I actually found. So I never liked oysters because I didn't like the cold, the wet, slimy stuff. But the West Coast ones, they were smaller, but they were really rich in taste, and they didn't have as much like liquid in them. Phenomenal. So, I learned something when I was in Chicago.
About
Who would have thought? Had a little
shellfish, or
Yeah.
what are they? They're not technically
I kind
mollusks
of shellfish
or whatever they're
I
called.
don't know. I don't know the terminology when it comes to them.
Well, we could always go, and I could, we can go to a
Open market. You're gonna go
dock and
open it up yourself and
Well, I
test
could-
them out.
I could, yeah, I'm down to do that. We can go to a dock, and I can scrape off some of those delicious looking barnacles. And
I'm sorry. Were you the same person
Putting-
that thought the fish market here was an open?
I
fish
thought it was a
market
fucking
here in
open fish market.
Columbus?
It's called.
Here it's just a
fish
restaurant.
market. I didn't know it was a restaurant.
Oh,
I'm new
I
to
love
the
that.
area. Don't yell at me.
I love that. That was the funniest thing.
I was making an Always Sunny reference, and you just shot that
What
down.
was it?
Some of these, scrape off some of these delicious looking barnacles.
Oh my
God!
god!
Put them in a pot,
Yeah.
serve them to you.
Do not eat them.
Do not eat those.
eat
Do
them.
not serve them to me.
Oh.
Okay, I will not eat. Why are you chastising me?
Oh, what a great show.
That by far is my favorite episode.
Mm.
The whole show.
The party boat or the
Yeah.
boat.
It's the implication.
Because of the implications, which we won't get into here. Let's
Don't worry, you're not in any danger. So they are in danger.
Let's move on to here. This one I think more than the spotted cow, I was looking more forward to this one.
Yeah.
Surprisingly though, because I'm not a big fan of raspberry. But after the hold on, we gotta put. I feel like every episode we gotta say something about toppling Goliath.
Oh.
We had their raspberry one.
What the hell are you talking about?
Didn't we have their raspberry? Wasn't it
What are
raspberry?
you talking
Or was it
about?
cherry? It was cherry. Damn. What was the raspberry one we had?
We haven't. I can't think of a raspberry beer that
We had a
on the
raspberry
podcast.
beer. It was right before the cherry one.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, before the cherry one, we had the cranberry
Was it cranberry?
tripping animals,
It was cranberry.
and then the other one was
it was
strawberry.
cranberry. I was thinking of cranberry. Too many berries. Anyway, not a big fan of raspberry either.
What are you talking about? You like Jackie O's Raz Wheat?
I do raspberry. Maybe I'm mixing it up with cranberry. I'm probably mixing it up with cranberry.
Okay.
You can ignore me. Anyway,
Cranberry's a little bit drier. Raspberry's gonna be a
yeah,
little bit
raspberry is
sweeter, maybe tart,
I think I was just mixing
depending
it
on the
up.
raspberry.
Okay, so I'm excited for this one then. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. We're good.
So let's go on to that one.
That's what happens when Nate has a brain fart.
Yeah. I don't know why I gave you a bottle opener when I've been opening all of these.
Well, that's why I said we didn't need two bottle openers.
Okay.
I think
I'm
originally
gonna
it's because you thought we were going to be doing
Yeah, that's
our
probably
own.
what it was. Okay.
Yeah, read
so
it before you open.
I'm gonna read it before we open. Treat yourself to a rare delight. This raspberry bouquet will greet you long before your lips touch your glass. Serve this Wisconsin framboise. Ooh, very cold in a champagne flute. Then hold your glass to a light to enjoy the jewel-like sparkle of a very special ale. Oregon proudly shares their harvest of mouth-watering berries, which we ferment spontaneously in large oak vats.
Is it
Then we
Oregon?
employ Wisconsin farmed wheat and year-old, Hallertau hops to round out this extravaganza of flavor. Life's too short to wait for dessert. Enjoy.
Two things.
So framboise.
You said Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay. And then also, this sounds fancy as all hell.
Yeah. We don't have any
Sounds
champagne flutes.
super, super fancy.
And now I'm going to Google what a framboise is. I've had them before, but I want to give the correct definition
Sounds
and
French.
not the bastardized version that I would say. Framboise is used primarily to reference a Belgian lambic beer that is fermented using raspberries. It is one of many modern types of fruit beer that have been inspired by the more traditional crick beers, which is made using sour cherries. So this is going to be a fruit beer. Oh, you're doing it?
I figured, I'd delve into the...
Should have gotten that one on the...
Well, fight me on my bottle opening skills.
I didn't fight you. I don't know why you're yelling at me, sir.
I'm yelling at you.
So this is supposed to be a rare treat.
Woo! Man,
Okay, yell in my
Wow.
ear, why don't you?
I will. I'll scream it from the mountaintops. That smells good. Mm. Big
What are you talking about? It said champagne flute, right? This is
the most accurate thing.
like, just lift this up. Tell me that's not just like obnoxious to drink from. Just how heavy it is.
Incredibly.
It's like, imagine being, you're about 4 or 5 beers in, you're starting to feel it, and you just go and you just like lift this up and break your nose because this is heavy. It's packed with punch.
Could easily crack your
Oh
teeth.
my god, this smells like raspberry pie.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Did the ABV on this bad boy? Hold up, let me.
I didn't see one.
What?
What are you doing?
I don't know. My phone update and just like not tell me.
I could definitely smell the tartness. Man, that's good. So we're looking up to see what the ABV is on this.
Raspberry tart.
Look on it.
Yeah, but which one do you think? 2020.
I guess the 2020.
I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it would be the 20. Oh, it's only 4%.
Only
That makes
4%,
sense. That makes
wow.
sense. That makes sense.
Look on the other one. I'm just curious to see.
What, the other one?
Yeah.
4%.
Okay.
Yeah, so it don't matter.
All right. Well, I'm gonna dive into this.
Yeah,
really.
no, this is fun. This is going to be a fun light beer to.
So what kind of beer is this again? It's
It's
a
a framboise.
framboise. All right.
So,
Let's go for it.
Beer ale.
Oh my god.
Woo!
Wow.
That is juice.
That is good.
Aren't you glad I told you to pick up the raspberry tart?
Wow. Did you tell me to pick it up, or did I
didn't.
just pick it up and then I told you I got it and you were like, yes?
That might have been it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That probably was.
That's what it was. So Nate made a good pick.
First time for everything.
If I remember, I had to look back to my text, but I believe my father-in-law, father-in-law, same thing. I gave them this, the spotted cow, and then there was a black labeled one. I don't remember what it was called. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember out of the 4, because they gave them a 4-pack, I believe this was the best one that they liked. I'll have to see what they said. If I can find it here.
This is just. I'm really glad you were able to get one of these. I'm really glad you went to Wisconsin. Look at us traveling around the country, and
Well, you always said you wanted to eventually travel around,
I
do a
planned that
road,
map.
do a road trip and travel around
Dude,
the
I
area.
planned that map.
Do you have a map of everything?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, here's what they said. So Russ is their neighbor. Russ is my father-in-law. They share the Wisconsin beers together. He's on tap. He has nearly 1,500 unique beers.
What does?
Their neighbor Russ has
What do you mean?
on Untapped.
Mm.
I don't know what that means, but what are you at? What's your unique beer count? Anyway, they said they were good. The raspberry certainly came through on the one, tart and tasty. So I'm thinking that the the raspberry tart was one of their favorites, which I can see why. Can't find it.
How the hell do you find out what your unique?
Statistics. I remember seeing it before when I was on Tapped one time, but I thought it always appeared up by your title in terms of unique beers, but maybe it's just the beers. Maybe that's what they're talking about. By the way, back to this. Huge fan.
Yeah, no, this is delicious. This is something. I talk about dessert beers a lot on here, but this is
Do you think?
like a raspberry pie in a glass, man. This is
you
delicious.
All right, so let's go ahead and give this one a rating here. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna give this one a T. This is a fun
Yeah,
beer to drink.
yes.
It's delicious. And I was really, I'm really glad that you were able to get your hands on one of these.
Yeah, and we got another one too, right?
We do have one
there.
more, so
Yeah,
we
this
save
is
that for a
phenomenal.
special time.
This is really good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a T as well. Everything about it. I mean, the tartness is just right. It's not too sour. It's not sour compared to the last one we had on Tuesday. Yeah, overall, just phenomenal. I'm very wowed by this one. So, do you want to go do our beers of the night?
Yeah,
And you go ahead and describe this time beers.
absolutely. Before we do the beers of the night, I just want to say I don't think we did the Prost definition.
We definitely didn't do the pros this time.
Yeah, so
So we definitely rated 2 of these beers without telling our pros.
yeah, so we can just real quick, we'll say what. So here on the Pine Pals podcast, we have a very own special rating system. We call that the Prost system here. And it's an acronym, so each letter stands for a different word. P stands for probably won't drink again. R is regrettable. O is optimistic. S is satisfactory. And T is terrific. So
Yeah. And so just to recap, I gave a high S for the spotted cow. I'm giving a T for the raspberry
and
tart.
I had the same ratings as well.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know. I haven't had a ton of framboise beer, but this is just
No.
fun, easy sipping,
For
delicious.
being the first one.
Yeah.
I'm excited for any other ones. So we're gonna go on to our beers of the night. Which you want to describe beers of the night for us?
Sure, I'll describe that too. So the beers of the night, we just go through the beers that we had for that episode, and it doesn't matter compared to our Prost rating that we gave it. It's just what we feel out of those beers that we had, what ranks the highest to what ranks the lowest. And I mean, since we didn't give 2 of them a rating, do you want to just do the spotted cow and the raspberry tart?
That's totally fine.
And again, I'm just going to reiterate that both of these first 2 beers that we had, I mean, to say for you, Nate, that you haven't had any beers to really
relate to. I mean,
compare
I've
them
had
to-
Belgian wheats before, but like
Yeah.
this one was a little bit different than I'm used to. But coming from the very first one, the Dancing Man, I was impressed by it.
Yeah. I mean, the Dancing Man is definitely a fantastic, I guess, example. Yeah, example. That's the word. Example of a Hefeweizen. Just Hefeweizens and Belgians are not my go-to beers. I try to stay away from them as much as possible because I know I don't like them. So
It's fair.
I don't want to shit on a brewery because I don't like those styles of beer.
Totally fair.
And with
So between the Spotted Cow and the Raspberry Tart,
I'm just
I'm
going to
sure
say
it's
this.
probably the
I'm
same.
sure it's the same. Yeah, Spotted Cow. Great choice. I totally forgot it was a farmhouse ale because it doesn't have like that. Bad experiences I've had with other farmhouse ales. But it's solid choice for a beer. I'm glad you were able to get one. And able to try it for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I got to try it.
And it's
delicious.
one of those beers that you're probably not gonna be readily have access to. So
No, unfortunately not until if they ever decide to leave Wisconsin.
they probably won't.
Probably won't. Yeah, it's good, but I think the Raspberry Tart for this group
the
here
raspberry tart is definitely
was the winner. Just because I'd never had something like that before, and it was just incredibly smooth, tart, and delicious. Just incredibly sweet.
all right.
Almost doesn't feel like a beer, honestly.
No, it doesn't. It almost
honestly,
doesn't, but-
it's good, but it's only 4%, so that's nice too. Because I'd be threatened to drink a lot of these, honestly.
Yeah,
because
these
they're
would
delicious.
sneak up on you.
All right.
Are you ready to move on to the toast of the night?
Yeah, let's move on to our toast here. Now, I don't know when our next podcast is going to be, but it probably won't be till after that special day, right?
What special day?
Your special day.
What special day?
You know your special day.
My birthday's not until October.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. Your wedding, sir.
My wedding! Yay!
your wedding. So the next time he comes onto this podcast, you will see him with a ring on his
I
finger.
will be a married man
It will be. It'll be taken.
because we're doing
100%.
Yes.
Confirmed taken.
Yes, because we have recorded 2 episodes today. The first episode that's going to come out it'll come out the week of the 9th as the
And then you'll
Friday.
have this one planned for the weekend that you're getting married, right?
Yes.
Yep. What a podcast come out on the day you're getting married?
No, it won't come out on the day. you're getting
Oh, it won't be
married.
the day. Okay.
No, it won't be the day because so my plan is to edit them and then have it on a release timer for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But I won't have time that day to put it on all the other platforms.
Fair.
So
So if you're on YouTube, you get an exclusive sneak peek.
yeah. If you're on YouTube, you get an exclusive peek of that. So well, thank you, Nate, for that.
Yes. So cheers.
Cheers to that. And any other toasts I can think of? The only other one that I have is thank you to all you listeners out there.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you so much. This one's to you.
What platforms?
To all of the platforms that we have out there. We are on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So
Yeah. Cheers.
all right, and I think that brings us to another end of the Pine Pals podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Much appreciated.